It's Thursday, and on Thursdays, we like to discuss family issues, marriage, and lifestyle. And an interest, two various videos actually caught our attention in the past few days, and it centers around patriarchy and the fact that two videos, a man in particular, one said that he gave his wife 4 rules that she must follow when they were getting married. Some of the rules was that whenever he says something she doesn't agree with outside, she has to agree with him. And then when they get home, she can do whatever she wants. She can even slap him, whatever it is. But at least outside, she must show 100%. That's one. Number 2, when she doesn't want to do anything, she can tell the world that her husband says she shouldn't do it. If she's having issues telling somebody she doesn't want to do something, you can just say, once you say your husband doesn't do it, doesn't want you to do it, that should be fine now. Thirdly, who can give me the third one? We gave quite 4 rules. Yes, they never argue in front of the children. And the 4th one, I can't remember that either. But the point is,
word is law or something.
Yeah, when he says something, the word is law.
That's it. Yeah.
Now,
I think it's the final.
I'll always start with that story, and the reason why that story caught my attention, because I think I've shared this story also several times on the show, where there was a fight in my house many years ago, and I didn't defend my husband. And then in fact, on the show that day, I mentioned it, and BC said, you should have fought for him. And unfortunately for me, my husband now watched that episode. He doesn't watch your view. It was that episode that BC was defending him.
Jesus.
So as I came home, you see, your friend told you, I keep telling you that you are supposed to defend me outside. Although still, for me personally, I still feel that what I did was not wrong, because it was an internal fight that happened many years ago. This was a long time. I was just referring to the story. And in fairness to him, he was doing the right thing, because one of the neighbors had complained the fact that another neighbor's generator's fume was getting into her room.
I remember the story.
Yes, I remember your story.
And so he was trying to fight for her.
Yes.
But in fighting for her, for me, he felt it was a bit too, I don't want to say aggressive.
He went overboard.
He went a bit overboard than I would have expected. And I was telling him to calm down. You know, I didn't want him to start going head to head with the other man. Mm-hmm. So he was shouting, and I'm like, calm down. So I kept saying, Brown, calm down. No, calm down. Stop. What's wrong with you? Why are you fighting? What's your problem? Of course, he didn't find that funny, because at that moment, he felt hurt to his bones. That because the other guy was saying, see, your wife is telling you to calm down, and you're not listening. Your wife is telling you to calm down, you're not listening. So he felt really hurt. Now, at that moment, he didn't tell me anything. That the fight passed and we moved on. But months later,
He reminded
me of that. I didn't even think of it. I didn't even think nothing of it. He now reminded me of that day, that you embarrassed me. And I'm thinking, excuse you, you were fighting. I didn't want you to fight, you know? But that is what this man is saying. And when I saw that video, I'm thinking, maybe there's something here. Maybe I should have seen it in a different way. So obviously, it seems like I bruised his ego.
Yes.
And that's it. But what are your thoughts? I mean, this is not the first time we're talking about, but let me hear your thoughts on this.
Yes. So,
and I'd love to show the video, so those who haven't seen it can see it. But while we're trying to get the video to the nice one.
So one of the reasons I told you should have supported him was I had a similar experience. And Brown was nice. I'm not talking about it there. I was shouted on. My 2-year-old, my first daughter was 2, started crying in the car. So what happened was, you know, the way Lagos traffic, we're heading from Alagbadu, we're working at Awoyaya, and then every weekend we go to Alagbadu, and we're coming back that Sunday, you know, to get ready for work and all of that. I don't know what happened on the road. I think the guy in front just drove anyhow, and the car bashed each other, right? So when they came out, apparently my husband was on the right side, but he was shouting, and I know how his shouting gets, and I didn't want him to shout. So to pass it, I felt in my head, he's newly married now, that to pacify the matter was to just do like this so that the guy can go. So I came out, instead of doing like this to my husband, I did like this to the guy. I heard it.
Yeah.
What? The man now took advantage of that. Said, even your wife.
He's begging me.
Even your wife is begging me. Even your wife is begging me. When we entered the car, the shouting, my 2-year-old started crying. When we got home, he apologized for that shout. But I think a few weeks back, we were talking about this, and he remembered, he relived the experience again.
The anger.
You know, you can never. So when you told me your story, I was like, I learned the hard way that no matter what, you would support your family outside. When when you get into it, but you know saying that you're wrong now, you state it there. So that was how I learned that lesson. But coming back to the story we are talking about, I don't see anything wrong in the rules the man has made. The only reason we are going to be looking at it a certain way because he called it rules. Those were some things that we agreed on our own, that when we get into marriage, we will not want to be shouting, breaking bottle, arguing in front of our children. We always want to be on the same side so that we do. Yes, of course. Some people grew up seeing parents break bottles. And it's something that you say, I don't want, the experience I had, I don't want to expose my children to it. We have parents who find it very difficult to raise their children in unity because when daddy says something, mommy counters it. And mommy says something, daddy counters it. And I learned in child psychology that messes up with the psyche of the children. So also my Montessori background helped me to understand that we have to agree, at least in front of the children. They will get to a certain age.
What if they're wrong?
No,
there
hold
are a lot
on.
of times, the men sometimes, I mean, the fathers or even the mothers are wrong. The party that is shouting, because you are shouting doesn't make you right.
Of course. But it's not my job to tell you outside that you're wrong. That can be reserved for inside because you're a family. It's like, there's this adage they say in my place that if somebody is beating up your mom and you come to the place and you're asking who looks for trouble, that you're a bastard.
Of course.
You fight for your mother. When you get inside, say, mommy, but what you did is wrong. That's how we're raised in Africa, and that's what we're moving into. But I was stating a point also when he said his word is final and they will not argue in front of the children. And I was trying to say that we had to make that arrangement so that we do not confuse the psyche of the children, where they know that they can manipulate either mommy or daddy to get what they want after one of the parents has said no to them. And then it shows the children that these people are not divided and we can use them against one another.
Let's show the video so that those who haven't seen it can have an idea what we're talking about. Watch this.
We've agreed,
Yeah. Okay, so I'll just start with how he called it rules and how that may come across as being forceful. But, you know, we talk about boundaries here all the time. So what if he had said, I've put my own boundaries? Would we find it easier to accept, you know? So I've always said I prefer to work with people who have set boundaries, then I know when I'm taking, you know, when I'm breaking them or when I'm doing something wrong. And for me, also tells me the sort of person you are. So from the get-go, I know if I want to deal with you or not. I don't find... I understand these rules. I don't think they're unpalatable in any way. So, you know, I don't disagree with it, is what I'm saying. Now, the only thing that maybe stands out for me that maybe is a bit uncomfortable for me is whatever he's doing outside, don't correct me or, you know, don't do anything until we get to the house. I may not correct you, but I will keep quiet. I will not be a party to you making a fool of yourself outside. I cannot. I'm sorry. I will not join the other person to make you further upset, but I will keep quiet. And I hope that when you see that I'm keeping quiet, it will sort of tell you that, okay, maybe I'm doing something a bit wrong. Because remember, I'm your teammate. I want you always to show up in the best light. Do you understand? And I hope that you do the same for me. Now, having said that, you know, there are situations where, you know, you're with friends and you're bantering, you know, and the way we say yabbies, you know, you're yabbing each other. There's something I just always notice my husband does. He would never say anything, not even in jest, that will make me look bad. And I appreciated it because I've been in situations where you're with friends, it's yabbies, but in a way that makes you feel bad. But he never does that. So I learned that. So maybe in that way, I can understand that in whatever situations, you're my guy. I always have your back. But if you're doing such a horrible thing, I would keep quiet. You would know that I'm not in support, but so that particular, so if we were to talk about that particular one, that's my stance on that.
Okay. I think that the male ego is very fragile. Okay. I think women can take things thrown at them with much more, they can be much more resilient than the man. The man, the slightest thing will, like, I will take cheating just as, you know, if you cheat on a man, the way the man
processes it.
It's different from the woman will, she will even in there and say, Joe, you don't go, you don't pass. But a man will not.
He never passes.
You know, so when I think of that, I guess the male ego is fragile.
Okay.
And I agree that if you are, but you see, the way me I'm brought up, I don't care if you are doing the wrong thing. Whatever you are doing, the other person is my enemy. I'm not joking. The person that is doing whether the right or the wrong to my family is the bad person.
Okay.
We can go and fight inside, but you see at that moment, you will not know.
Yeah.
I will support you to the only way I will not support is if you're a murderer.
Let me give you an example, Waiki. So for example, you have an argument with a partner, with somebody you're dating, and because you're having serious argument in the car, he's upset, right? Now, unfortunately for him, an Okada rider rams into you right next to you, just hits you, just a snipe, not even a scratch, hits you, and the anger, right? He comes out and slaps and starts beating up the person, and the person now retaliates and punches him, and you're trying to stop it. Trying to stop him from fighting because you already know the source of the anger, but you're fighting, but he's mad at you that you're not foreseeing that. Didn't you see the guy hit my car? The bike.
I know.
So in his mind, he's saying, he hit me. Would you now be beating the Okada rider because you want to support your husband?
No.
Who hits?
At that point,
Yes.
the Okada
Is
that
wrong.
hits my husband.
Is the one that will carry the aggression.
I will just cool my husband so that you don't go and kill
That's
him.
what we're saying.
Yeah.
You don't
I
want to
will
get
call
calmed down.
while I'm cooling him down, I'm fighting the Okada.
Yeah.
Hey, what? Don't worry, let me take the fight for you. I will take because I can't beat the Okada. I can't kill the Okada, but you as a man can kill the Okada man. So I will cool you down and fight the Okada man.
I wouldn't do that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I will do it too.
Because
Well, the most I can do is just say, calm down. Calm down, because I know
will
that
calm
you're wrong.
You see, when I'm coming you, I'm fighting you.
Why?
You, Morayo, you are the Okada driver. Miriam, you are my husband. Honey, don't hit him.
You just finish fighting in the car.
No, even if we did not
person
fight.
has come to collect the fight. That's it.
Yes,
Another
no.
person has come.
Do you
When
see
we are
the
together,
man,
we're fighting. When
the
the third
Okada
person
driver,
enters,
he hates
we're
me.
supposed to
I
put
can't hear
forces
anybody.
together and face the third person. That's how it's done. Outside, when we go inside, brother, but you know, say you mess up. So, you see, I learned, and one of the reasons I'm going to say this is I compared a few things, right? So I saw families who were very close-knit and united. That anything that happens outside, it's them against the world. And growing up, I admired it because I didn't have it. Because my own is more like English speaking now, everybody on your own. If you mess up, we address it in front of you that you have messed up. I'm still like that, but I'm also learning it in raising my children that you must be together. This is your family. These are your siblings. You cannot see somebody insulting your brother and you're not doing anything. You come home, you bachalo and come home and sit down. He's the one that looked for trouble. You were there. What did you do? How did you intervene? How did you support? How did you fight? Because I saw that growing up and I sort of admired it. It sort of showed me a form of unity that I wanted because I didn't have, right? So now that we are adults, we can find better ways of doing it. So I like her idea where she would sit, be quiet. Because you are misbehaving, you just know that this quietness that I'm quiet, I'm not agreeing with you, right? But not everybody gets to that level where they're quiet. Some people, because you have messed up already and you are fighting, you are using that opportunity to gain favor back, to settle, and you use that person. People do it.
Don't use me.
People do it.
Okay, let's not even make it about fights. Let's say we're all together with our partners and then your partner says something that you know is just wrong. And everybody's arguing and trying to explain, no, this is how it is. Your partner is just saying the wrong thing over and over and over again. Will you knowing that what he's saying is wrong, will you join him in saying what is wrong?
Yes, let me
Make it, or would you keep quiet and hope he understands and also backs
With what I know now.
Yeah.
With what I know now.
You wink at him. Hopefully, the winking, he will say that wink you winked, it was not in support.
Yes.
You made him look a certain way.
Exactly.
I've shared this story of
join
my
him.
aunt, and she and her husband are still alive. In fact, I didn't mention her name because I know. Let me not
Don't mention her name. Just tell us.
My auntie and her uncle.
And her
Her
husband.
husband is my cousin.
Okay.
She's married to my cousin. I was a young lady. I was a teenager then. They were in our house. And her husband was saying the most ridiculous, like it was like a no-brainer. I mean, God forbid. But the wife was there, and she is a high-ranking. If I say her profession, you know who she is.
Don't tell us.
She's a high-ranking person that very dignified person. You know, she's somebody that when she enters a room, she enters. And she was there supporting him. And I'm looking at her with disgust. Like, you know this guy's not making sense.
Yeah, you're disgusted.
And I was a young girl, and she kept supporting the guy. That's just foolishness. But then I called her after the whole family disbanded. Auntie, you were supporting him. You know that isn't that. What is it, Morayo? When you get married, you understand.
You understand. Wisdom. It's profitable to direct.
When you get married, you understand. Now, I can never forget that situation. Although I never probably even used the lesson because...
Yeah, different
breed. But I remember that thing. And sometimes I try to, you know, see reason because my husband has a very strong personality. And I always feel sometimes that, listen, because you have a strong personality doesn't mean that you're right. Because no one starts talking. And you do your gra-gra doesn't mean that you're right. Just gra-gra. You hear me? I don't have gra-gra. So it doesn't mean that what you're saying is right. So half the time, he's speaking with all the energy. And I'm like, you're not going to intimidate me because of that. This is the situation, and this is what I'm going to do. But Brown comes with that thing, and he wants me to support him. And then sometimes he's just totally wrong. Like, you can see this. He can't call this is white and black. And you're insisting this white thing is black. And I'm thinking, no, it's black. And you're insisting it's black.
So
In fairness to him,
it's grey. It can become grey.
Morayo, so what is wrong?
A lot of times, in fairness to my husband, a lot of times, right, after we fast forward, many times
He will not come back.
No, he's like, he can be right. I will now see where he's coming from. I see the rightness in what he was trying to do. So maybe what he did was right, was the wrong timing.
Okay.
Or how it was done.
So, Morayo, the problem we have is we are constantly labeling things and trying to define things. There is what sort of helped me in, you know, dealing with issues like this, and it's not just spouses. Sometimes it's even friends and, you know, family members and how they just believe one thing and they are running with it. What helped me is to understand that everybody's perspective is right. As I am saying it like this, this is my view of the world. This is where I'm seeing from. This is my lens, and it is right. And no matter what you're saying, you will not be able to come across to me, especially when you are arguing and trying to put it to me that I am wrong. I'm not seeing from where you're seeing. And, you know, they'll give different instances of, you know, blind people being given an elephant in the room and say, touch this one, say, an elephant has it, looks like this, an elephant looks like that, from the parts that they are touching. So if you have that understanding, sometimes you take a step back and try to even see where they're coming from. And even if you don't get it at that time, it's okay. I and my husband.
Wait, let me pause you. Let me take this call and hold it for a while. Good morning.
Go ahead.
Samson. Oh, I'm so sorry for keeping you. Go ahead. Morning.
Yeah, you guys are looking stunning.
Thank you, sir.
I actually appreciate you, and I like this conversation. And I think I'm together with the one at my right hand, the one that said, whoever is facing her husband is like her enemy or something like that. I really like that.
That's Waiki.
The thing is, when it comes to family, I think communication is the best. When you communicate, when you two understand yourself, I think that is where you will get everything right. Having rules at home, I don't think there is anything wrong with that, because you want to be organized. You want your children to be organized. It's good. And it's not healthy for the parents to argue that much in front of the children. I grew up in a house that we hardly see our parents fight. Sometimes we just go near, maybe at their doorstep to be, you know, hearing what they are doing inside. You will not get the picture clearly. You'll just be hearing inside the room, but you are not getting what they are doing. But once they step outside, they are straight with us. And that helps us to know that, yes, in the house, there is somebody that all of us are under, which is the father. Now, the father is the head, but I believe my mother determines how the head turns.
Can I tell you one story? Yes. One day I was sleeping, Theo and I were sleeping in bed, and then I just heard, why? I don't know if I've said this story before. From sleep, I woke up. Theo was sleeping, and he had punched me.
We've not heard this one.
Oh, my goodness.
So, you know, The first punch, I just went back. Then I heard again, boys! I said, come, wake up.
He was punching you.
And then he woke up and said, that he saw you, that it was his driver.
He was
That he was punching.
In
the dream.
I've never seen that.
I said, hey. And I know that driver, very troublesome man. Very troublesome. So he was stressing Theo to the point where in his dream he was
Wow.
Jesus.
fighting. The next time I saw that driver,
Ah.
I just held him like this. That slap I collected. What? Collect it.
Why?
Why? Did you collect it? Because you are stressing my husband. If you are stressing my
Your
man,
partner.
It affects you.
it's affecting me. I collected that sponge you were supposed to
So
collect.
the man appeared. So wait.
In the dream. From the dream. So I gave him in real life. And all the staff, they were there. They saw me. I can't remember that driver's name.
So wait. So he resumes work. You see him come here. He does not know what has happened. Pwah!
He will know now because I've been stressing him.
Capture you. They say,
He has been stressing the man before. He knows because for Theo to be dreaming that dream,
That's so sweet.
that
Aroma.
driver
was intense.
has stressed him.
God.
So you understand? So you if you are stressing my person,
You're testing me.
you're stressing me.
Of course, if that's the case.
I'm stressing.
Yeah.
I said I collected the punches. I sleep.
okay, let me go on the shot. When you come back, you stay with us right back.
That is so funny.
Yeah. Oh my God. Sleeping, seriously sleeping.
You see that?
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.